Tony, you know that picture that you showed us about Ellie giving a thumbs up?
Yeah, Target. Yeah.
Why does she look so angry giving the thumbs up?
She wasn't angry.
She's giving like a thumbs up, but is scowling
Because
while she's doing
she
it.
had just learned how to do it, and I think she's gaining some thumb stability. She's flexing the muscles in her thumb.
The thing I was so impressed about with her fist and thumb up is her hands are huge. She has like
large
little
hands.
club hands.
I know.
Like you can like Bam Bam.
I know. Yeah.
Do you even know who Bam Bam is?
He's the feral child from Flintstones.
Raiders roll.
Feral.
Good description.
Isn't he? Kid doesn't wear clothes. None of them do.
Oh, on that note, I noticed that you have a hat that says young adult.
Let's talk about this hat. This hat represents your young adult ministry. It's a hat for our YA ministry. Now, here's the cool thing about it, though. It has a secret power. When you put on the hat, you look like a young adult. I'm 25 again. When I take the hat off, I'm back to my mid-30s. Everything in my body hurts. When I put the hat on, I could stay up till 10 p.m.
So can Sean King and I request a hat similar to that says immature adult? And that's what
What
we
do you
want.
think, Sean?
It represents me well.
Okay, yeah. No, we can for sure. We'll talk to Greenie. Are you the one that made this hat? Yeah.
It's sharp. I like it.
Well, thank you. I wore a hat and PB goes, "What are you wearing?" I said, "It's a young adult's hat." He goes, "Young adults? What does that even mean?" I said, "It's our ministry." Anywho.
That's the lack of creativity that we have nowadays. I have an update on my warmie.
Okay, so let's remind the audience, what is a warmie?
I have no idea.
It smells like lavender. It has beans in it. It's a little stuffed animal. You put it in the microwave, it warms up, and it helps you sleep at night.
You have a warmie.
My dog
Uh-huh.
got a hold of my warmie and ate my warmie.
Did you reorder one?
No.
Do you know why we give Ellie her warmie
No.
at night?
Which one does she have?
She has the hippo, purple hippo. Do you know why we give it to her, though? It's because by the end of the night, she's constipated. And something about the heat of the warmie and the lavender calms her down. And she normally poops right after. We give it to our
Does
daughter.
that work for you too?
Brandon Greenwald. Yes, it did. No. Brandon Greenwald told me that he also bought the blue dinosaur warmie.
Yeah, but that guy probably got it for
And
his
then
girlfriend.
said he bought it for Bo Hasty.
Oh,
Tony, should we start?
We should start. You use a warmie. So does my daughter. Hey, let's start.
This is Dr. Brandon Beals. I am one of the founding and lead pastors of Venture Church in the Seattle area. Fun fact, I've been to 48 of the 50 states in America.
My name is Tony Matar. I'm a pastor at Venture Church. I pastor a church called Venture Seattle, in the heart of Seattle. And I have been to 6 states in all of America. Welcome to Pastors Unfiltered. Hey everyone, welcome to Pastors Unfiltered. I'm your co-host, Pastor Tony Matar, joined by my lovely co-hosts, the Reverend, the Doctor, Brandon Lee Beals. How are you today?
I'm great. I have one question.
What is it?
Did Ariel listen to the podcast last week?
Can I be honest with you? I put it on the other night. We were on date night in the car. Shout out marriage.
Did she think, wow, who are those guys with those incredibly attractive voices?
Do you know what she literally said?
What?
She goes, "Can I be really honest?" I said, "Yeah. I don't want to listen to our pastor on a date night." And I said, "Oh."
Nothing says romance.
Okay. She
Like
goes,
Brandon talking about a warmie on a date
and
night.
she goes, "But I'm really proud of you guys." And then I asked her again, "Hey, when's the last time you've listened to us?" She goes, "I don't." I said, "Appreciate the honesty." So last week we said, hey, if you're a staff member listening to the podcast, text PB or I. We're going to give you $5 to Starbucks. How many people texted us, PB?
One.
One.
I
And
got
he's
one, too.
pseudo staff. He's
Yeah.
not even on staff.
And he's technically just informed us that he wasn't able to work because he's currently in Hawaii. So we had to cover his job for him on Sundays.
So then he asked for the gift card.
Yeah.
So you know who didn't ask for the gift card?
I do not.
Kaylee, Sean,
I listen, but I'm just behind a couple episodes.
Christian Limbeck. I can go down the list. Who's your favorite employee right now? Go. Doesn't matter because they didn't listen to the podcast.
Okay.
They're not your favorite anymore.
All right. True. Hey, Tony, before we dive in and introduce our guests, I get a box every month called the Pastors Box,
Oh, fun.
which basically I get a bunch of books and a bunch of swag that I don't really want. And so I give all the books away.
Blessed.
But I got a deck of playing cards that are conversation cards.
Let's do it.
So they're basically regular cards that while you're playing cards, it also has conversation starters that you can ask. So I thought, why don't we start off by me asking you some of these convo card questions?
Let me give a huge shout out to our sponsor, and then I'd love to go on a date with you.
Go ahead.
Are you ready for this? Huge shout out to Anderson Lawn Care. Check them out for all your lawn care needs and future snow removal. My wife is calling.
Uh-oh.
PB, one moment. Ariel,
Tony.
you're on speakerphone. I'm on recording the podcast literally right now.
Oh, no.
Ariel, do you listen to the podcast?
No.
Will you listen to this episode that you are now
Maybe.
featured in?
I'm going to listen to the next episode
Why?
because I'm going to be there in person.
Cool. All right. Can I call you later, honey?
Yeah, of course. You're recording a podcast.
What's for dinner? Okay. Just text me. Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Sorry about that. It's the love of my life.
Okay.
Okay. Ask me a question.
Question number 1. This is on a Joker card.
Okay.
It says this. What 3 words would you use to describe the past 3 months of your life? 3 words to describe the last 3 months.
Wow.
Wow is 1. Okay, 2 more.
Exhilarating.
Exhilarating, 2.
Nauseous.
Nauseous.
Nausea.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's do just a couple more.
Well, how about
Let's-
you? What are your 3 words? Here, well, give me some cards. Here.
Oh, fine. This is going to be great listening
Okay.
when
Okay.
Ariel finally listens. Okay, here's a 9 of hearts. This is what it says on the 9 of hearts. Where would you like to go for a vacation together? So if you and I went on a vacation
You and I?
together, where would you like to go?
I don't even know what we would do. Want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings? You know where I want to? I don't want to go to like Dubai with you. I think that'd be fun.
Dubai?
Yeah, go do the sand
That
dunes, go
is like
shopping.
Spinning a globe, closing your
Yes,
eyes,
I think that'd be
poking a
fun.
finger. Dubai.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question.
All right.
This is a Joker card. What is one thing you've always wanted to learn or try?
I would love to learn another language.
Which one?
I mean, I'd like to learn Spanish. I think
See?
it'd be awesome to learn Hebrew.
See?
And I think I would like to learn Italian, all 3 of those.
Buongiorno. Okay, that's a great one.
Want one more for me?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna ask you like a really deeply
Okay.
like meaningful question.
If you could have, this is a 5 of clubs.
Okay.
If you could have a movie marathon, which movie series would you choose?
Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. You hear the words that are coming out of my mouth?
No, you're saying it wrong. Chris Tucker goes, "Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?"
Well, I didn't want to be culturally inappropriate
I'm
by
not
doing an
cultural.
accent.
We're just. And then okay,
Those are great movies, by
and
the
we're
way.
canceled. Okay,
Are you aware that Jackie Chan learned how to speak English during the
Filming those
movie
movies.
Rush Hour 1?
yes. And did you know Chris Tucker just gave his life to Christ?
I did.
He won't do like any film with like vulgar language or nudity or anything like that. Praise the Lord. Okay, 3 of spades. Pastor Brandon, what does home mean to you?
Home. Home means Ozzy and Kona, my
Oh,
dogs.
Notice he didn't mention his own
Not
actual
die?
physical family.
Well,
You mentioned your
My wife
dogs.
is hardly ever there.
Okay.
My wife is in her office more than she's at the house.
I just had lunch with your wife. Incredible human. Time to
Should we
go
introduce
shoot.
our guests?
We should. Okay. Welcome, Pastor Sean, Pastor Kaylee. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
title of today's episode is Redemption.
I need no redemption.
Tony,
I
why
would
don't
like
you
to be the judge of what
Oh.
if this is redemptive. I'm
Oh,
nervous.
that's a good
about
point.
it.
This is
share
escalating
with our
quickly.
listeners, remind our listeners why Sean and,
Yeah. That's
what
great.
is your name?
Wow.
Kaylee.
It's Kaylee.
Why they need a redemption
Yeah.
episode.
So at the end of 2023, we did a predictions episode where we invited Pastor Sean with the men and Pastor Kaylee with the gals. It was like a Muslim wedding. And we asked them predictions for 2024. Now, Pastor Sean and Kaylee are some of the most optimistic people I know in my life.
Thank you.
and pleasant to be around.
Mm.
So a lot of their predictions were just didn't come true, unfortunately.
Well, most of Kaylee's predictions were giggles.
Giggles,
That's true.
filtered
No.
by lines fed by Morgan.
Maybe.
Okay. Sean had predicted, for instance, like the movie of the year would be Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, but you guys keep coming back to that same example for 2 years now. Okay, so here's the deal. A couple points. First of all,
Sean's ready.
First of all,
He has his
In-
caffeine-free Coke Zero sitting
but I'm
here.
acting like I'm hyped. Yeah, exactly. The way the question came was, who's going to win the movie of the year? Now, in the year that you're currently in, you're not winning. Like, all the movies haven't been out yet.
But that movie had been out 2 years prior to this.
That's not true. Not 2 years. It was months.
We got to look this up.
It was months before. And so I was thinking, okay, in 2024, the movie that's voted on for the 2023 film of the year would have been Top Gun. Okay, so that was
Top Gun Maverick
Yes.
was released in 2022.
okay. So it was off a year.
So basically, what happened with Sean, listeners, is there was an entire year, 2023, that Sean just forgot about. Like
Didn't we
it's like he
all?
went straight from 2022 to 2024 and forgot that there was a 2023. But that's what happens when you get older.
So what we decided to
Well,
do,
I also see a ton of movies. I don't know when they come out.
you do.
You know,
You want to give a plug to your channel?
sure. King size movie reviews. Whatever.
What was the last movie you saw?
Boy, I don't even remember. It's been a minute.
I know. me
Was
too.
it
Yeah, it's
was
been
it
a
the one
minute.
you've seen more since we went to go see the Mufasa?
Oh yeah, Mufasa.
Was that any good?
No.
How do you mess up Mufasa?
Well,
I
I mean, the
forgot the
story
name.
was fine, but like the
that's-
cool thing about the Lion King, it was the music on it was just so fun, and the music on this thing was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
Are you excited for the new Captain America?
Yeah, I mean, I love movies in general, but I'm not like a geek about it. Like, I don't know all the actors' names. I just like
You just enjoy going.
I love being entertained and
Yeah.
like switching off my brain.
Are you excited for the new Captain America?
I am.
Do you know who Captain America is?
I do.
Okay.
Well, we wanted to bring you guys back and do a redemption episode.
Okay,
And believe it or not, we've actually decided to not ask you to predict anything.
yay!
Praise the Lord.
One of the questions, Kaylee, actually, there is a prediction for you.
No.
But we actually wanted our listeners to get to know you a little better.
Mm,
So it is the redemption episode.
okay,
So instead of asking you, like, if you think the Mariners are going to get 100 wins this year, we're going to ask you guys one question. For instance, we'll start with Kaylee. Pastor Kaylee, what has Jesus been speaking to you recently?
I can answer this one. I like these questions already.
Redemption.
I have done a deep dive into the winter season and looking at the Christian calendar and how that coincides with our actual seasons of fall, summer, spring. And I'm in winter right now. And so learning what that looks like when trees are barren, but the root systems are fully growing and things are happening. And then on the spiritual side of what rest really looks like. So it has been a wonderful season.
So what has been the main thing the Lord has been speaking to you about that?
That's a lot. I would say it's a lot of reflection. And I'm sure this question will come up of like the last 2 years have been really crazy for me personally. There's been a lot of change and, status things that have happened that has just made a lot of transition. So that has just been calm and reflecting and kind of catching up.
That's a beautiful
That's
answer.
awesome. Sean, you were the person that predicted that Nikki Haley would be our current president, who, by the way, wasn't even one of the candidates. But what has the Lord been speaking to you?
About Nikki Haley. Yeah, I got that one wrong. I feel like the Lord has been working on me to help me figure out who I am. Like, if you don't know, like I work outside of the church. I started full time in the church, and then through a series of events, ended up working secular job while simultaneously doing ministry. And there are things that I enjoy about both, but I have struggled in the last 27 years doing this of who really am I? Like, am I this sales guy, or am I this guy that just loves ministering to people? And I love the local church. So I feel like there's been a lot of soul searching, and I almost feel like I'm back in junior high. Like, God, what do you want me to do with my life? And I'm already well into my life. So, looking at opportunities, I feel like the Lord speaks to me through opportunities to serve others. And through that comes personal growth.
Are there any conclusions that you've had?
No conclusions.
Okay.
My conclusion
Putting
is that,
you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm a work in progress. Yeah,
We're all on a journey.
Yeah, we are.
Beautiful. So,
Tony, do you know what you want to do with the rest of your life?
I don't even know what I want to do today. I think I have a staff meeting tonight.
Yeah.
I just asked my wife what's for dinner.
Today, I took our admin out to lunch today, do this once a quarter, and I asked them a series of questions. That's what we do. And so I asked them what you love the most about your job, and it got to Tina, and Tina talked about how radically different her two direct reports are in the way that they run their lives, and how that that provides a lot of variety in her job, which she likes. And she talked about, she goes, Christian is planning things not this coming August, but in August of 2026. And she goes, and Brandon, you don't know what you're doing next week. It's very true.
Very sweet. Well, thank you, Tina. That's a good question. Let's keep going. You guys liking these so far?
So far, so
Right,
good.
So no crazy predictions. Like I said, redemption episode. Number 2.
Hey, we did get a new governor. I predicted we would get a new governor.
Because the other governor retired.
Was I wrong?
Sean, I want all of these questions to stay in the past,
Okay,
and you keep bringing them
You're
back.
right. You're right. Redemption.
Stop looking in the
Top Gun
rearview
Maverick.
mirror.
You should watch it. Let's watch that together.
Okay.
What is one thing most people don't know about you?
I'm not as tall as I appear. Okay, two quick things people don't know about me. One, I'm allergic to MSG, but I can eat a whole bag of Doritos and not have a problem, and which are loaded with MSG. So that's weird. The second thing is that I'm a leap child. So I'm
You're
actually
technically
like
10.
I'm like 13, something like that.
Oh.
Yeah,
You've had 13 actual birthdays
Correct.
your entire life.
correct.
So when do you normally do your birthday?
Nearest weekend.
That's so wild.
I know.
You just pick a day and go, all right, guys, Saturday the
Yep.
4th.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
celebrate
deal.
me.
Like Starbucks, you get a free drink on your birthday,
Oh.
and I got ripped off.
They
Like,
didn't honor it?
The birthday didn't exist. So the app didn't like automatically generate it. So now my wife has learned if I don't get a reward that I think I should deserve, I'm not opposed to pursuing that. And so I emailed Starbucks and they changed my birthday to February 28th so that I always get
wonderful.
a free coffee. Hats
Wow.
off to Starbucks.
They care.
They do.
No, they
I've gotten
don't.
lots of free coffees just by complaining.
So are you one of the Are you one of those people that loves your birthday, or are you neutral on it, or would you rather it just didn't happen?
You know, if I actually get a birthday that year, I like to celebrate it. You know, I like it to be recognized.
Okay. Are you big into your birthday?
I do like my birthday.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
91?
Are you?
No.
It's like-
Okay.
I'm 90. I'm older than you.
Oh, that's right.
You guys
Oh.
missed Tony wanting to give Kaylee a high five, and she refused.
You have a replay of that? You going to make a reel of that? Thanks, bro.
Tony, are you big into your birthday?
Don't care.
Okay.
There's only a few things I want on my birthday. That's it.
I full on wish my birthday didn't exist. It absolutely does not need to be acknowledged
I hate
ever from
attention.
anyone
Yeah.
other than I want presents. So an ideal birthday would be for me, I would come home and there'd be tons of presents on my doorstep that I didn't have to acknowledge anybody giving them to me, but I still got them. But other than that, I want no acknowledgement on my birthday.
We should really unpack that. We should bring on Heather Taylor and talk about that. Did you have bad birthdays growing up?
Probably.
Oh,
I've repressed my entire childhood, so
we really should talk about that.
I don't want to.
Okay, that's the problem. Kaylee, what's one
Yeah.
thing most people don't know about you?
I would say my right eardrum has been replaced. I had 12 surgeries in my childhood that it ruptured so much. I have a new eardrum.
Does it work?
It does. Yes,
Did you hear that?
it did.
Oh.
And then I would say the other one that may or may not, I lived in Cambodia for 2 years.
Wow.
I've ridden an elephant. I
How was the
don't know.
food? The food.
It was delicious.
Really?
That's
Think
what I've
like
heard.
Thai food, less spicy.
What were you doing in Cambodia?
I was working with a ministry under our network, Assemblies of God, with street kids.
Wow.
So we kind of opened up a day center for kids.
Do you have any desire to go back on the mission field?
I think once missions is planted in your heart, the willingness to serve God anywhere is always there. But for the foreseeable future, my roots are here.
All right.
Yeah.
We got Cambodia and a leap year birthday. I bet most of our listeners didn't know that about either one of them.
I love it. Let me ask you guys this. What was your call to ministry moment like? What did that look like? Where were you? Do you remember it like the day it happened, the moment it happened, or was it a series of events? We'll start with Sean.
Yeah, I can remember Silver Lake Bible Camp. I was in junior high. I believe Steve Jameson was the evangelist at the time.
Awesome.
And I can go take you to the post on the outside of that building. Well, inside the building, but I remember where I was in the moment where I felt like the Lord said he was going to use me in ministry. And then from there, I felt specifically in that moment it was youth ministry. But, as you start looking at your gifts and, it was complex as I got into college, and opportunities in music, were more prevalent than youth ministry. So it was always kind of that, Lord, where do you want me, music or youth? And now I'm not doing either. So don't know what that means.
So have you always just like singing? Has it just always come natural to you? Like,
Yeah,
that's
my
just
thing.
always
We
been
were
your
like the
gift?
Von Trapps. Like my mom was at the piano and we sang all 4 parts. And
Wow.
yeah, it was always, I always loved music. And that was a big part. I mean, the first 30 years of ministry was all music.
Wow.
Yeah. And youth ministry at the same time, some of that. But yeah, I can remember the time and place. It was awesome.
You come sing at the Seattle campus. We'd
Yeah.
love to have it.
I'll be there.
The people will out-sing you, though. That's the problem.
Really?
You won't hear yourself.
That's awesome. I love that. That's super cool.
Okay, anyways. Pastor Kaylee, how about you? Call to ministry moment.
Yes, it was I was 16 at Bethany Christian Assembly, where I grew up for the most part. We were at a progressive dinner for the youth ministry, and we had missionaries at each one. And the missionaries that I went with to Cambodia with were there. And her name's Larissa, passed around a photo album. And BCA had been really into missions all of my life, but it felt distant. Like it was just stories, people in really weird outfits coming on Sunday nights. And this one was different. It was just more intimate. And she was passing around a photo album while she was like talking about these kids. And it was like, these kids are real. It was like, that was the real life. It's tangible. And just really my relationship with that family grew. And I said, I have 2 more years of high school, but I want to come with you. And I kind of had my own plans for my life of how that would look. But the Lord did his thing. And in 2011, I was on a plane.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to Judah and Greenie what a progressive dinner is, since they probably have no clue.
Okay, you start at one location and you have an appetizer. Then you get back in your cars, you go to another place. You have your main meal, and then you go somewhere else and you have dessert.
Like at restaurants?
This was houses,
Oh, fun.
but so
It's actually super fun.
it's so fun.
Yeah.
I got to. It was like they probably weren't elders. I don't know. There were people at our church that had really nice houses. And then we divided the youth group up in a third, probably.
So, question for you then. You grew up at BCA. Was Pastor Brandon like your youth pastor?
Di and Brandon's last Sunday at BCA was our family's first Sunday at BCA.
We heard that Kaylee was coming and we were out.
And not just out.
6th grader.
They chose Modesto
Yeah.
of all places. Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh, you were just a little 6th grader.
Mm-hmm. And then
Aw.
also, Sean has known me since I was 5, I
Wow.
think is what we've did
Literally.
the math on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were youth pastors at the church that her family attended. Yep. So Rebecca
Whoa.
would have watched Kaylee in the nursery.
Yep. Rebecca would not let me hold Blake, their oldest son, when I was a little
Why?
Because I was too little. I was little myself. He wouldn't let me.
Don't drop Blake.
Will they let you hold Blake now?
Still no.
Wow, these are great things. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Kaylee, I think I remember you said you and I attended the young adults ministry when it was at our Everett campus, 2011 or 12.
Oh, yes.
We were in the same room together.
Yes, this was after Cambodia.
I didn't remember you.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, because you were, I don't say it like you're not memorable. You were a kids intern at the church.
I was, because my passion was to go back to Cambodia. And I had already been starting to get my credentials with the Assemblies of God. And I needed another year of an internship. And so I didn't really know Di, but I contacted her through people. And I said, I need an internship. I've heard great things about Canyon Creek, which can I get in contact with your kids pastor? And so that kids pastor at the time pulled me
I never
in.
saw
And
you.
yeah, I tried to get connected, but in my brain, I wasn't going to be there long. And
Are you aware that Kaylee to this day tells me that I fired her?
Why did you fire her?
I
don't
don't even remember this,
Did
but why don't you share the story
you-
about where
did you
I
steal from-
supposedly fired you?
It wasn't you, and this is a podcast, and I can't say names.
You can say it was Virgil.
Okay, thank you.
He's a friend of the pod. He's
Okay.
been
He
on.
does listen.
Yeah.
He's
a dear friend of mine, too.
As far as I know, Virgil called Jeff and said, because you are leaving, Kaylee is no longer going to have her job, which at that time I was the early childhood director under Jeff. And so in that day, I lost my job, which I didn't know what that meant. So I thought you didn't like me. And so that was his last Sunday was my last Sunday at the church, because I was like, well, if I lost my job, you don't want me. Why would I stay here? There you go.
Wow.
And then I was on staff for an entire year before I spoke that out. And I spoke it to Nicole, and she turned around. She was in the front seat, and she goes, what are you talking about? And apparently no one else knew that was the story.
And
But
now
that-
that you've been back at Venture
Mhm.
almost 4 years now, right?
Yes.
And now that you see the dynamic of the staff and the way that I delegate and run the staff, is it surprising that I had zero clue that happened?
No, not at all. But it has still taken a long time to heal. that.
I get it.
So this means like all the people that have worked for Kaylee that she's let go of
Oh,
are
whatever.
actually blaming me,
They are.
I'm okay with that.
even though I don't
like
even
getting
know
in
who half
trouble.
of them were.
Do you remember when we interviewed Kaylee, you and I? The entire staff had interviewed her. You and I were out of town.
We interviewed her.
We came back.
I parked in your parking spot.
Remember? So
This
strike
is
one.
how much like there is fear.
And do you remember the interview with Kaylee?
Well, obviously I don't. So go ahead and remind
She
me.
was very well put together, had very good answers, spoke very eloquently.
There's a
you're-
butt coming. I can tell
Your hand was shaking the entire time.
because I'd fired her,
Is it because we're
and she'd parked in my parking
Are
spot.
we
apparently.
intimidating?
I don't know if it was you. My interview process into the church was very intimidating. I had an entire interview with the entire staff,
Wow.
minus you two, which is why we had a second one.
Okay.
And then after that interview, I went to go interview with the current kids team.
Okay.
And then I came back to have a Zoom and in person with the elders and deacons and any parent that wanted to be there.
Dude,
So it was it was hours.
that's like more. That's
Like-
more. That's like a lead pastor interview right
Yep.
there.
I'm
And
proud
then-
of us.
Wow,
then-
we've really vetted her.
About a week later, because I think both of you were on vacation.
Okay.
As always.
And then I came back because I would be working with you because you were the current youth pastor.
Yes.
But yes, I was very intimidated to be in the same room with you, Pastor Brandon. And then
Was I scary in the room?
I don't know. I think I was just not like
When did you find out you parked in my parking spot?
when you came into the church and yelled, "Somebody's parked in my parking spot. Who was it?" And then our current intern director was like, "It was probably an intern. I'll go figure out, find it." And they're like, "That's not their car. I don't know who it is." And I said, "Pretty sure it's mine because I didn't know there was a signed parking spot.
Oh.
There was no one else parked even close to you, like that section. I had no idea." And of course, there you go. It's very there.
You've been
Still
replaced
raw.
by
I'm
a
sure I
preschool
was
mom now.
kidding when I came in and announced that, but
Few more questions, and we're going to wrap up. Sean, this is not a question, but an opportunity.
Great.
We feel that there's a slight tension between you and the podcast right now.
Really?
And we want to provide an opportunity where we want to jointly apologize if we've hurt your feelings. But we would also like an acknowledgement.
Okay, talk to me.
No, we would like you to acknowledge that you have forgiven us on the podcast.
Okay.
so should I repent first?
You go first.
Sean, I'm sorry if we misrepresented you in any way. And I hope you will forever forgive Pastors Unfiltered.
What am I forgiving?
What I just said.
You said you've offended me, but I don't know. Are
The
we-
Top Gun Maverick thing.
Oh.
That's, we've kind of,
Hey.
we've talked about it for 2 years now.
Yeah, it's a little old.
It's
If you listen regularly on the podcast, you'd know that
you would
you're
also have
frequently
$5.
I do. I regularly listen to the podcast.
Okay.
I am one of the faithful 250.
3.
350?
See, that's how I know you don't listen. No one
Hey.
listens.
Hey,
253. We just grew. by
253.
And it
Okay,
might
there
be
you
like
go.
257
Yeah. There you go.
now.
Wow.
Yeah, I've actually started listening to some other podcasts, which is
What?
unusual for me. So,
Don't cheat on us.
well,
Cheat
now
on
you
us.
need to repent to us.
yeah.
No, cheat on us.
Okay, well, let's make this a conditional acceptance.
Okay.
Okay.
Very biblical.
Let's not talk about Top Gun Maverick anymore.
I would appreciate that.
Is that okay?
Can we talk about Nikki Haley still?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
No
I liked
thanks.
Nikki. I mean, I had no basis for thinking she'd be a good president, but
Didn't make a good anything. Okay.
You didn't apologize.
Oh, excuse me.
I did this sincere apology, asked his forgiveness, modeled what it's supposed to be in a healthy relationship.
Thank you.
To repent and work through things for our listeners, and you haven't done it yet.
you just aged.
The hat has come off.
We're back.
Tony goes from, who is this teenager to who's this old
Sorry.
man?
I forgive you.
Okay.
You are forgiven.
This is the most Christ-like thing I've ever seen. He is forgiving you before you've even requested forgiveness.
I asked for 2 things of forgiveness.
Okay.
That one time on the podcast, I called you Sean Kingy.
Yes.
And then I
That
go back and listen to it and I go, what did I
Yeah.
say?
that lives in small circles now, though,
yeah.
and the circles that lives
Cole
in.
Hasty.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
and Greeny and Morgan and
Yeah,
me.
I can
and-
live with that small circle.
I know.
So
So I ask for your forgiveness
okay,
for defiling your last name.
okay.
And number 2, I ask for your forgiveness for the predictions.
For the prediction, you don't have to ask forgiveness for the predictions. I made the predictions.
Well, I'm sorry.
That you have mocked me for 2 years about that.
I don't believe I
That you
mocked you.
belittled me in front of hundreds of people.
253.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Times however many weeks we did it. So it could
That's
be
true.
upwards of 1,000.
yeah. All is good.
Will you forgive me?
I like to tease, and I don't mind being teased. So it's okay.
Would you like to tease me back?
No,
I'll take my hat off for you.
No.
Say whatever
Please
you
put
want.
your hat back on.
Okay.
Yeah, I have nothing to tease you about.
I
I love you,
to.
Tone.
I would like to. We're doing a series after Easter through the fruit of the Spirit, and I just updated the sermon schedule. Had to make some adjustments to fit it in. And Sean is teaching on gentleness. So Sean texted me and said, "Hey, you had me teaching on. I think it was kindness,
Patience.
patience." And he was like, "I was already doing research like 4 months before he's going to speak." And so I said, "No, you are the epitome of gentle." So
That is
this is
true.
gentle. So my question, Tony, before you make your statement to Kaylee,
Oh, I got
what are you going to apologize to me about?
For what? What have I done to you?
Lots.
Name one thing.
I'll come up with it next week.
See, this is.
It's too hurtful to bring up.
We need to address that. We've talked about this. Okay, Kaylee, I'm sorry that I was the best boss you've ever had.
Wow.
I'm sorry
We're
that
supposed to apologize to
that
Kaylee
I
too.
pushed you to greatness. And Kaylee, I'm really sorry that I feel like I just brought the best out of you.
Wait a second. He was your boss?
You
It is
remember?
my direct report.
Shout out. What was that? You pushed my hand away. That wasn't a high five.
It's a high push.
We had a fun time in the next gen department.
We did.
You, me, Claire, and Johnny. It was a wonderful moment. Can I ask you another question? We're almost done here.
You may.
We have two more, right?
We have two more.
Two more for Kaylee.
Kaylee, how many kids would you want and how soon?
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
We have talked anywhere between 2 and to 4.
Wow.
4 kids?
Twins run in my family on both sides.
Oh.
And so,
Oh, you're hosed. In the
No.
best way possible.
If,
like free
if
gift
you
from children.
guys, if you have fraternal twin boys,
okay.
so if you have identical, you don't have to do this. But if you have fraternal twin, can we get a commitment right now that the names of the fraternal twins will be Tony and Brandon
Please. And if not,
No.
if they're girls, Tanya
and Brandy?
and Brandy. Please?
No.
Okay.
But
We tried.
yeah.
So you want
We
kids
could have
soon.
little
How
Tony
soon?
and Brandon on the podcast.
They would be the most adorable little children ever.
I can get you both another Warmie, and you can call that can be their names.
All right, I'll
We'll
do
take
that,
a
'cause my
warmie
dog
as well.
ate mine.
That works too. Couple of last questions. These are some fun ones. How about that?
Perfect.
Dream vacation and why? Sean, we'll start with you.
Oh man, we love to travel. So I don't know if there's one specific, but there's a few countries. I'd love to go to Japan. I'd love to go to the Tokyo Disneyland,
Yeah.
or Disney, whatever you call it,
Mhm.
Disney Tokyo. Would love to go to like New Zealand, Australia, that part of the world.
Mm-hmm. Go to Hillsong?
I don't know.
I was
Not
just talking
necessarily.
to Di about the next big trip I want to do. It'll be in a couple years. I've heard it takes 3 weeks to do Australia and New Zealand, but let's plan Beals Kings
Come on,
summer of 2026. What do you think?
Wow. What are we, chop liver?
totally. Yeah, for sure.
I vacation too much, Kaylee.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Continue. Okay,
Yeah.
so those are great locations.
Those are great locations. And plus, you guys did a trip. Actually, the Strandies did a trip. No, it wasn't the Strandies. Who was it? They did a cruise down from Switzerland down into Italy. Like down the. It was a winter village cruise.
Wow.
Fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a
That's-
big cruise guy.
Are you?
I love a good cruise.
You can do a cruise to Antarctica.
Can you really?
You can from Argentina. We're going on a cruise in March.
Where are you going?
We're taking our children on a Disney cruise.
Are you
Oh.
really?
And we're going to the Disney Bahamas Island.
Oh,
Nice.
fun.
So a Disney cruise, I know they're way more expensive, but what does it mean? Does it mean there's like Disney
It
characters
just
running
means
around
there's
on the boat?
childcare.
and you're paying for the Disney service. Like it's just
It's the
exceptional.
Disney experience, the characters, the restaurant changes every evening.
It's
Yeah,
magical.
It's magical.
We are Disney freaks, and we've never made the decision to do a Disney cruise.
I think you should.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay. Kaylee, how about you? Dream vacation and why?
I love cruising as well. So I would love to do anything that is like a longer cruise. Most of mine have been under 5 days, 5 days. I would love to do like a 10 to 14 day.
Wow.
And then
Oh.
go somewhere. I don't know.
See, I get sick
Anywhere.
of the food on the cruise.
Totally.
I get this. I get so
I
sick of it.
thought I would love a 10-day cruise.
Okay.
So it was a few years ago. Di and I did a 10-day cruise with pastors from all over the nation. And to a person, we swore we would never do a 10-day cruise again.
Oh.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
Would you ever commit a season of your
And it's really
life?
expensive because you spend money on the ports and stuff,
Sure.
and we were broke afterwards.
Would you ever? I've met people who live on the cruises.
No, I would never.
That's
You can
their-
schedule it. There's
yeah.
ways to make it happen.
That's
You have
what
to
they
like
do.
get off for like a week every 6 months or something.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's a thing.
I would never do that.
I have a fun fact for you guys. Do you guys know Thad Huff?
Yes.
Thad was one of the main entertainment guy on a cruise when he was out of high school,
Like doing what?
singing.
Oh.
He was like a cruise director or something. If you don't know Thad, it means nothing to you. But for those of us that do, it's pretty funny.
Wow. Did you know there's a new fella at our church whose name is Tiger? First off, his name's Tiger. So I rarely remember anybody's names, but I remember a guy whose name's Tiger.
It's memorable.
And as I met Tiger in the lobby on Sunday, I said, what do you do for work? And he said, I work for the cruise ships. I said, well, what do you do? Because I play the saxophone
No
on
way.
cruise ships.
What?
Tiger plays sax, cruise ships.
Great.
Wow. Okay. Last question. Are you guys ready for this?
Yep.
What are you reading, listening, and watching right now?
Oh man. Okay.
Gilmore
Reading.
Girls?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if this. Okay.
Love Island?
No.
Are you reading Bop Magazine?
No.
Onyx Storm?
I don't know how to answer this question.
I can go. You need more time?
Yes, because they won't let me answer.
Oh, then answer.
No,
That's not true.
No.
I am reading The Next Great Awakening by Joseph Castleberry.
Oh, is it any good?
Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it.
I've had many lunch appointments where he's basically told me about the book.
Yeah. I've talked with him a lot about it too, so I'm getting what he. Yeah. I'm also reading The Unseen Realm. I've been reading that for a long time because for me it's a slow read. It's all about.
I mean, we did go through that book with staff meeting last year. Did you not read it then?
No, that's how long I've been reading it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've been
And
reading.
you're currently
it
reading The Prodigal God.
and The Prodigal God.
We
yeah.
read pieces of it, not the entire book.
True. Yeah, it's a hard read for me. Like I'm one of those guys that reads it, and if I don't remember what I read, I have to go back and read it again.
I listened to it on audiobook while I would
Oh.
do my walks and stuff, and it's a bit heavy to listen to
It
on
is.
a walk.
Yeah, sure. Okay, what I'm listening to, I am listening to Jesus for Mormons by
Okay.
Kai Van Leuven. I listen to that every episode. I do listen to this podcast,
Thank you.
and I'm listening to The Exorcist Files, which is very intriguing.
That's Di's
I've heard
new
so much about
obsession.
this.
Yeah,
She's telling
it's-
everybody about it.
yeah, it's something else.
If only Di would tell everybody about our podcast like she does the other, like
Bema?
Bema and
Oh, Di
Exorcist Files.
needs to be receive some monetary compensation for how much she talked about Bema. Our church listens to Bema.
It's
because of
good.
Di Beals.
It's worth. Is there anything else, or is just reading and listening to?
Yeah, and what are you watching?
Oh, watching. We're currently watching a show called The Recruit
Oh.
on Netflix. It's been pretty good.
Love it. Okay, Kaylee.
Okay, I am reading a book called Give Them Grace. I'm getting ready for our small group. That is what we're doing. I'm also reading The Prodigal God. And then I'm listening, but to me it's reading is You're the Girl for the Job.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm listening to I talked about the winter season. There's a podcast that's going through that, so I'm listening to that. And then I'm watching. Doug has got me into Below Deck, and
Oh, so David Diaz loves that show.
I've heard that. Yes,
Is that the one about people that work on cruise ships?
yes. Or
This is
yachts.
all about cruise ship theme episode.
I love it.
Is it like documentary, or is it like?
It's like it's watching the staff
Oh,
and how that their experiences. I'm not promoting it. I'm just that is the answer and that's the truth.
so funny. One thing that I am constantly listening to, and if you know me or been in my car, I'm constantly listening to Ben Rector. Like he is my go-to artist.
Why
Tony,
are
you might remember
laughing?
Yeah, no, because one time I can't say it on the show.
that.
Tony, what are you reading currently?
I'm currently reading 2 books. I'm reading an old book from middle school that I'm rereading because sometimes I need fantasy books to turn my mind off from all the leadership stuff. I'm reading Aragon. If you guys have read that book,
Mhm.
it's a great book. Actually, really not bad. And then I just picked up some John Maxwell book Virgil sent me in the mail. I promised him I'd read it. We have a rule: if he sends me a book in the mail, I'm going to read it. And I'm taking Pastors Huddle through Tempered Resilience,
Okay.
which I hear is a great book. We just started it. So, yeah. How about you?
I'm currently reading Leading for Change, which is a textbook for one of my
Mhm.
grad classes that I'm teaching. And The Prodigal God again.
Great book.
And then I want to read Crash by not Colleen Hoover, the other one that they're all into.
Who is it, Greenie?
I forget her name.
You read those kind of books. Oh, okay.
Okay, what are you watching?
I'm really not watching anything right now.
You
don't
normally
watch-
begin everything by, I don't really watch
I
TV,
don't
but I
watch
just
TV.
binge watch this TV show.
I just
For me, it's all about Survivor.
Yeah.
I hadn't watched Survivor for 5 years. I'm obsessed with it again. And season 47 hooked me back. But
Ariel, it's so weird. I'll come home and she has the lights off and she's been watching Severance.
Yeah, Severance.
Dude, that show is a trip.
I've never watched any of it.
I've
it's
heard
a-
it's really deep.
Yeah, it like messes
Oh,
with
I
it's
can't
like
handle deep.
Inception, but in show
Oh.
form.
Ugh,
No thanks.
I know. That's the way I felt.
We are rewatching How I Met Your Mother. We're on season 1 again because we had
Oh.
finished that show when we were dating. We watched that show and we're rewatching
Oh,
it.
That's
It's pretty classic.
It's fun.
It's pretty fun that all the actors are very famous
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I'd
It's
probably
fun.
binge watch Ted Lasso again. I think that was just
Excellent.
classic.
Excellent.
And Shrinking was also great.
Shrinking was.
I never made it through Shrinking either.
Shrinking is one of the best shows I've ever watched.
Yeah, so good.
It's so good. Yeah. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for being here. Do
You've redeemed yourself.
Do you feel
Thank
redeemed?
you.
Other than obviously the blood of Christ has redeemed you, but do you feel redeemed being here?
I feel like the questions were better this time around. So, yes.
You did a better job this time.
Thank you. Sean, any final thoughts?
Nope. I'm redeemed.
Well, Sean, I'd like to go on the air and say thank you for coming here today,
And forgiving us.
forgiving us. We will never speak of Top Gun Maverick again. Even if
Starting now.
even if it pops up on TV, I'm going to go, no, get that out of here.
Get that vile filth
Get
out of
that.
our sight.
Sean, thanks for being a voice, someone I can always talk to.
Totally.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
I love it. Kaylee, come on. There it is. I'm going to leave it at that.
1 out of 3 times.
One
You
out of
worked
3
good.
times. We got it. And Pastor Brandon, thank you.
You're welcome.
There it is. Greenie, looking good today. And Judah, thank you for giggling at all my jokes since 2010.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
next week we have a special guest on Pastors Unfiltered.
Huge guest, by the way.
Comedian.
Yes.
Soon to be Netflix star.
Yes. Netflix
Andrew
special.
Stanley.
Big deal. Son of Andy Stanley. This is a
We
big
have
deal.
Andrew Stanley coming. He's doing our date night on Friday night for the church. Andrew Stanley is the king of homeschool jokes. I find him exceptionally funny. Yeah, I think you're going to really like it.
My wife has agreed for the date night portion because, you're supposed to go to dinner together before the evening.
You
But
make
I got
that
asked
seem
to
like
film
it's
a
big
podcast.
You're supposed to, yeah.
Well, I love to go to dinner. She asked if she can order her coconut shrimp from Azul and just sit and listen to us talk.
Oh, that's
Really?
cute.
Can you believe that?
I should make Di do it too. We'll have the girls in here.
They can eat coconut shrimp together.
So
Yeah.
your office is going to smell like fish.
Coconut shrimp. It's breaded and fried. Well, hey, folks, thank you for listening. Don't forget, give us 5 stars. If you have any negative feedback, constructive feedback, send it to morgan.b@ourventure.church. He regularly checks his email. He will respond to you within a week.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. And if you need to get a hold of him, call Kaylee. So anyways, thank you for listening. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Don't forget,
Jesus is the hope of the world. Let's make him famous.
Raiders roll.